Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to this Unbreakable self-training session. I am your host, Dr. Dave, and in today's training session, we're going to be going through 3 things you can do to improve your mindset even when you feel the pressures of life coming down on you. Let's get into it right now. All right, guys, let's go through 3 mindsets that you can do, or 3 techniques, tips, exercises that you can do any time of the day, wherever you are, whenever you are, however you're feeling, when you're feeling the weight of the world coming down on you. And these are things that I have put together. It's not that I've even put them together, it's that I've discovered them over the years when I was feeling all the feels. And you kind of know what I'm saying? Like when I was going through like some really tough times out there in the world, I just felt like, man, like life sucks right now. Like you just get beat up, and you just like feel like the waves like just like come crashing down on you, and you have no idea how to live or how to like work as a human. So these are 3 things that for me I discovered that have been super effective, super powerful, that I now use on a day-to-day basis. In fact, I use them every single day. And so they're super simple. You can do them anytime in the world. And a couple things to this note. Anytime you feel all the feels, right? You're gonna feel like, man, like I just can't get ahead, or you kind of like start thinking all the negative thoughts, or you get these depressive moods, or the anxious or manic, or whatever. It's like you feel almost like you are susceptible to the ocean of the world, right? Like the waves of emotion kind of come in and you don't know how to handle them. And oftentimes when we get there, we start to feel like kind of hopeless, helpless, because we feel like we're just bobbing like a cork in the ocean, and these waves are going up and down and up and down and up and down. And if you're an emotionally in tune person like myself, you know exactly what I'm saying. You're going to be in a group of people and you're just going to be able to like sense the group, and it's going to be like, what is going on right now? And so like you can kind of like feel the vibe of both an individual. Like you're really good at like sensing someone, and if that person is like a little bit like, you know what I'm saying, like they're like a little weird, just a little bit, what invariably happens is we get turned off. We get tuned into that person. We get turned off, but then those person's emotions start to manifest in our own body and being. And so what I had to learn was doing these 3 things. Now, the first thing, it seems a little woo-woo. Let's just start there, right? When you're doing work, especially mindset work, you got to consider that the mind, right? Like the mind is non-physical. I'll just use the word physical, non-physical, and then we can kind of break things down from there. So non-physical is like this, the kind of the world of like the ether, the spirit, right? You know, we can't touch it, but we know it exists, but we can't touch it, but it's there. So you can sort of measure it, but you can't measure it. So science says, oh, it doesn't exist because you can't measure it, but you try your best. And so now there's like some emerging science, and trying to explain what mind is. But the point is, when you have something going on in mind, it seems as if it's a little bit out there, right? So you got to just like kind of go with this and just kind of trust me on this practice. So the first practice that I want you to do is actually imagine. It's a visualization practice, especially when you're in a group of people. Typically, you're going to get an emotion and you're going to feel like the weight of the world on you. And you're going to get their emotions. When I say their, I mean like them, like the outside world. Like, could be your husband, wife, could be your kids, could be your roommate, could be, just like the whole of society, especially if you're like watching like CNN or something like that, just turn this stuff off. Just don't watch it. Just don't. That's for them, right? And then this is you, right? You are in your being right now. So the first step, the first action that I want you to take is imagine like there is literally an invisible bubble around you, and that invisible bubble is made of pure golden light, and it is expanding out 12 feet all around you. And so it's like this giant bubble. And you're probably thinking, like, what? Like, what? Like, but just trust me on this, because the second you do that, now a couple things to this end. We as humans, we are an electromagnetic pump, right? Our heart is a pump, literally it's an electromagnetic pump, and our body is electromagnetic. And so we sense polarities in other people. And so you pick up on other people's vibe. I'm going to use the word vibe in this case. Now science has proven this, so so you can go with me on this one. So when you pick up on somebody else's vibe, you sense all the things that are in their psyche. And when I say their psyche, I mean like the collective unconscious of that individual. Now, again, if you want to go deep and you want to go collective unconscious of like the whole of mankind, now we're thinking about like, now we're getting real deep, right? And we'll go there today with you. So when we feel somebody else's energy, we pick up on their tone. And when we are not doing the work for ourselves to be the leader of our own tone, our own vibration, I'll use the word vibration here, because again, electromagnetics, it's electromagnetic waves go out in a wave, and that wave is a certain vibration. Again, like no different than radio. The same is true for your physical and psychological and emotional system, right? It's true, right? This is just the way physics works. And so when you pick up on somebody else's tone, well, you're going to kind of like, just to kind of keep the rhythm of and the coherence in the room, you're going to pick up on them and you're going to roll with what they are putting out. Especially if you're generally a more submissive person, maybe you're going to take a step back and like let somebody else lead. Sometimes when the leader of the group, you just know that their tone is off. And I got this when I was young from like people like teachers or like people of authority, like older people. You could just tell, right? Like when their tone is off. And so then you would pick up on that, and you get like blown away by their tone. So like you can feel it, right? So the first thing I want you to do is like imagine like there's this 12-foot bubble of energy that's like, it's like, nope, I'm me, you're you do your thing over there, and so I'm going to do me. And so why I bring up the other individual is that within 8 feet, you're going to pick up on that person's tone. So like if we're within 8 feet of each other, like my energy and your energy are going to connect, and whoever has the strongest essentially conviction in their tone, right? Like they got the strongest knowing and the strongest confidence. That's why we love, we want to be around confident people, because it's like it brings us up. It brings up our tone. It brings us forward. And so when we're around those people, we're like, yeah, okay, I like this. I like this guy. Even right now, it's like you and I are maybe an entire country apart, but you can kind of pick up on my tone right now, right? So I've been practicing mindsets, specific mindsets that get me into a positive flow every single day. So that's super important. All right, so number one, just allow yourself to just have this protective layer. And so now you can just be in your, it's not that you're being in your bubble, but now you have something to work with, because now you can stop and you can consider yourself. Now, of course, I would highly recommend meditation being meditation is absolutely crucial in this. So just remember that. So that's number one, because then you're sensitive to your own well-being, your own state of emotion, your own state of mind. But in this moment, when you're feeling whoosh, the weight of the world on you, like just all the media and all just like the cacophony of just like everything's coming in, just allow yourself just like take a breath, right? And in fact, that's number two. So I'm jumping into number two. You step into that. So you put everything out, right? You just like say, hey, like I'm you out there, me here, and then you just breathe. And I actually want you to breathe in a coherent way. So like, let's say 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out, or 4 in, 4 out, or 5 in, 5 out. It doesn't matter what the number is. What matters is that it's a rhythmic breath for 3 minutes. And it's gotta be 3 minutes, minimum of 3 minutes, right? So you just breathe, just in for 4, exhale for 4. In for 4, exhale for 4. So you're just doing that. And by doing that, what you're doing is that you're allowing yourself to, oh yeah, okay, like you're just like re-establishing a baseline for you specifically. And that's, okay, so that's number 2. So breathing in, breathing out, what you're doing, you're getting rid of all that cortisol, all those stress hormones, norepinephrine, epinephrine, and your body is like, okay, like, okay. We got this. And so now your body's now at a baseline. So you kind of pushed out the energies around you. Now you get at a baseline. And now what I want you to do is I want you to think essentially like general thoughts to kind of regain momentum and conviction and strength and confidence within yourself. So you think these general thoughts like, oh, like this air is clean, right? I'm breathing clean air. Okay, that's like super general, doesn't really matter, like, but it's true, so it's like, it's gotta be like true to you, but it also has to be like pretty general. Like, oh, like it's sunny today. Or even if it's cloudy, you're like, oh, I enjoy the clouds because it gives me shade, right? It's not as hot today. Or, you just like, you constantly like, you create these general thoughts to kind of get your momentum, your thought patterning going, because then that gives you action, that gives you the confidence and the strength. So you're literally laying a foundation now, a positive thought that is guiding you forward. Now, it doesn't have to be like super positive, like, oh, like I'm the best, I'm the this, like you don't have to sit in the mirror and like affirm to yourself that you're a millionaire and you got the best person in the world as your mate and you got the perfect kids and hooray. Like, no, you just start general, just start with, yeah, like, things are going well for me. Things are going well for other people. Things are going well in my life. Things are going well in the life of my family. I'm doing okay. I know that I can get better and better and better every day. I know, and so you kind of notice it's like, okay, I just start kind of general, and then you get a little bit more specific in whatever subject you want to work on. Doesn't matter what that is. Could be your mate, could be finances, could be whatever. But the point is, allow yourself just to slow down your thought patterning and just get in, right? Just like kind of get into a new groove, because our brain starts to then look for new thoughts. And so whatever you want to call it, the reticular activating system or whatever, it's like our brain just naturally starts to grab for new positive thought. Now, of course, just like working out, your brain, your mind is just going to like, you're going to have these certain beliefs and they're going to, you're going to like be going down this path and it's like going to be like a hard left and you're like, like what the heck was that? You're going to go back to some old thought, but that's the point. Do this every day. And as you do this every day, then you're going to get better and better and better, just like working out. Like you're not going to pick up 500 pounds off the ground on day one when you start working out, but if you start working out and you do this every day for many years, and you're probably thinking, many years, like what? It's like, no, you're really gonna start seeing results pretty soon. So just remember that. So like you're gonna start seeing results really like in that moment, but the point is you're gonna start seeing results like more and more and more and more and more and more every single day. So these are practices that I actually practice. I do these every morning, but I will say when I'm about to go into a large group of individuals, a large group of people, I'm gonna lead me. I don't care what other people are doing. I'm gonna lead me. I'm gonna lead my vibe. Then all of a sudden, the whole like group starts to kind of look at me. And again, like this is a whole nother conversation for us to be having, which is like, are you okay with like you being your best self, you being your most confident self, and you leading? Even like a cocktail party where there's no set leader, but then like people just start to gravitate towards you. Like, are you being okay with people gravitating towards you? Especially if you're an introvert or you claim you're an introvert and you say, oh, I just don't want to, like really like, you might actually be an extrovert, but you're just afraid to like be in your light, be in your greatness. So consider that. So again, that's a whole nother conversation. The point of all of this is so that you have the command, the control, and the well-being and the confidence to know that you are free to make the choices that you want to make, whether by yourself, whether in a group of people, whether in front of a camera, whether you're speaking to your boss, whether you're speaking to your husband or wife, whether you're speaking to your kids, whether you're speaking to your friends. You're going to be interacting with people, with humans. So just to show up as in your fullness, in your greatness, that is what the world needs. It needs you to be in your greatness. So do these practices, try these things out. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And when you do, I'd be really curious. Comment below after you did this. Again, bubble, make sure you're in command, breath, and then get on the train. We'll call it the train of thought, right? The train of thought. Get on a positive train of thought. Start general and then get a little bit more specific. And then that train, you can't jump on that train when it's going fast. You got to start slow, and then go. All right, guys. This has been amazing. I really appreciate you. If you have more questions, just put in the comments below. I will do my best to get to as many people as possible. And I will see you guys in the next training session. Stay unbreakable out there. Double salute. I don't know why I did that. I'll see you.